Hello guys and welcome back to another video here on the Silence Majority YouTube channel. You might be new here because my last video did really well. Now I'm sorry that I haven't been posting much over the past few days. I think it's been a week since my last post, which again has done quite well, so thankfully I've not missed out on much, but I've been quite busy with other things, so hopefully I can get back in the swing of it. Also, I apologise for my shiny hair. I've just had a shower and I haven't dried it yet. Today I am going to be watching two videos made by somebody who identifies as a communist, I've been told, and I will be debunking them. We're going to get straight into it here on the first video where he says that things that you need should be free. Let's have a watch.
If you can't live without something, it should be free. Simple as that. Water should be free. Food should be free. Medicine should be free. Housing should be free. Pretty basic stuff. I don't see how you could disagree with that.
Oh, well, this is how I disagree with that. So let's take those examples. Water. The actual water, if you want that water, you can go and get it for free. As you say, it's something that the world has given you, so why should somebody be charging it for you? You can go to the sea, you can get a cup of water, and then you can drink it. And then you can also die of sodium poisoning because of the amount of salt in the sea. Now, maybe you would like to distill that water so that it is potable, which means you can drink it. So you go to the sea, you get a big bucket of water, you distill it, you'd filter it, you get all of the different things out that you don't want in it, you treat it with chemicals, and then you might want to put it in a bottle so that you can take it around with you. Now that's a lot of work. What you could also do is pay somebody else to do that. You're paying for the labour behind that water. You're not actually paying for the water itself. You're paying for the bottle that needs to be made. You're paying for the plastics that need to be made for that bottle. You're paying for the labour of the filter. You're paying for the labour of the person that drives the bottle of water to the shop. You're paying for the labour of the person that puts the bottle of water on the shop shelf. You're paying for the labour of the person that checks you out at the till when you're buying the bottle of water. Now you have absolutely no right to their labour or their time, which is needed to do those things, which is why you pay them. Now what you're saying here from the communist side of things is, well, you'll contribute to society based on your basic abilities, and then you'll take from society based on your basic needs, i.e. water. This is actually what we used to do. We used to contribute to society based on our basic abilities, and then we used to take based on our basic needs. However, there's a much more simple way than you going to the person at the till and saying, okay, thank you for checking me out, now I will give you 2 minutes of my labour, what would you want me to do? And then you go to the person who bottled the water and say, okay, thank you for bottling the water, how much labour do I need to give you? And then you could go to the person that filtered the water, and so on and so on and so on, or you could just use a currency. So what you're actually going for is an abolishment of currency. Now, every single society in the world that's developed has got a currency. China has a currency. China had the first currency. In fact, they made the first metal currency and the first paper currency. And the reason behind that is that they used to exchange labour and items. For example, person A has something that person B wants, but person B also has something that person A wants. So they swap. And that's a trade. Now you have person A that has something that person C wants, but person C doesn't have something that person A wants, but person B has something that person C wants, and person A wants something that person B has. Can you see how complicated this is getting? So what would need to happen is for person A to get what he wants, C would have to trade with B, B would have to trade with C, B would have to trade with A, and A would have to trade with B. Just for one trade. Now what else could happen there to make this situation much more simple is to agree on a standardised currency. So for example, if person A wanted what person C would want, then person C could make a market valuation for his item. Person A would agree with that. If person A didn't agree with that, then he would have to lower it because that's how the market valuations work. And then they would exchange a currency instead of having to go around all of these routes. And this is what happens with your water. You don't directly pay the person who bottles your water. You do directly pay the supermarket or the shop. And then the shop directly pays the supplier, and then the supplier directly pays the employees at the bottling facility, and then the bottling facility would directly pay the people who filter the water. So all a currency is a much more simple way of what you're trying to do, and I can't see a single logical reason why you'd want to get rid of that. As for your housing, the housing one is the most ridiculous one. Who's going to build the houses? I don't know a single builder that's going to build a house for free. Again, they're going to need to be paid by the government through your taxes, so you're still paying. It's just a rubbish way of doing it. You may as well pay people directly. So again, you're just going for an eradication of currency here, whereas every single society in the world that's ever developed has realised that a currency is actually a much more smarter, simpler and faster way of going around things. In China, for example, the metal currency used to be gold, and it used to be worth the value of the labour. So if you wanted to pay somebody £10 for their labour, you would give them a piece of gold worth £10. But now we've realised that there's absolutely no point in doing that because it's a waste of gold. And instead, we've gone to a fiat currency, which is a 10p coin or a £1 coin. A £1 coin in the metal isn't actually worth £1, but we all agreed to pay the bearer the sum of the money, which is what it says on your notes. You can go and have a look at that if you like. Okay, next video.
I'm often told by people on this app that billionaires like Jeff Bezos deserve all of the money they make because they work really hard for it. So I decided to do a little bit of math. It turns out that Jeff Bezos makes $13.4 million per hour, and the average American makes about $27 an hour. Do you think it's possible that Jeff Bezos is working 496,000 times as hard per hour as the average American? Or do you think our system is broken and no one should be making that kind of money while normal American people starve?
I completely disagree with you here. So first off, you're going on the basis that people are paid based on how hard they work, which is absolutely wrong. Nobody's paid based on how hard they work. They're paid based on the scarcity of their skill and their labour. So for example, if I go in a garden and dig 10 holes, my own garden, I'm not going to get paid by anybody. Now, if I do the exact same amount of hard work, but in somebody else's garden who needs 10 holes digging, for example, to plant some carrots, they're going to pay me because I'm putting my labour in the correct places and the scarcity of my labour will determine the market value. Now, quite a lot of people can dig 10 holes, so I'm not going to get paid much to dig 10 holes. However, then we can go on to see something such as a brain surgeon. How many people can be a brain surgeon? Not many, which is why they get paid in the millions of pounds, in the millions of dollars, as you would say. How many people can put a piece of cheese on top of a piece of meat? Virtually everybody who's got two arms. So that is why McDonald's workers, Burger King workers, KFC workers aren't paid as much as brain surgeons. Now, what Jeff Bezos has done and what Elon Musk has done is they've offered a service to numerous people, and I've explained this in this video, you can go and watch it now. They've offered a service to numerous people and they've all found value in that service. So for instance, I have Amazon Prime, same as the girl in that video who decided to criticise Amazon Prime. Because I find that Amazon Prime is worth £7.99, the same way that millions and billions of people possibly around the world do. Well, maybe not billions at the moment, but I almost guarantee you in the future billions of people will have Amazon Prime. Now, I find value in Amazon Prime and I will put a £7.99 price tag on that. I think it's great value for money. So do millions of others. I think in the United States, it's something like 60% of households, possibly even more, have Amazon Prime. Because when millions of people find value in your product enough to pay you £7.99 a month, you're going to become a billionaire. That's how things work. Now, if you're a owner of a franchise of McDonald's and somebody comes up to you and says, okay, I would like, let's say, £20 an hour to do this job, they're going to say no. Now, what are you going to do? Say, well, Jeff Bezos gets a lot of money and he doesn't work 700,000 times as hard as me or whatever you said. Well, they're going to say, well, that doesn't matter because your labour isn't valuable enough to me to warrant paying you that. There's somebody else that can do that who would take that money. So no, Jeff Bezos doesn't work that amount of times harder, but he almost does guarantee you work that times amount smarter, and his skill is that times amount scarcer. Jeff Bezos worked like 22-hour days to get Amazon off its feet. And now in the modern day, millions of people find value in what he's providing. You know, nobody's forcing anybody to buy Amazon Prime. This is why I love capitalism so much. It's full of opportunities, and it is a consensual agreement between the businessman, the business owner, and the customer. Nobody's forcing you to get Amazon Prime. Nobody forced you to buy that t-shirt that you have on. But I guarantee you somebody made profit out of that because you liked it, and the money that you wanted to pay for the t-shirt, you warranted that that was worth it for the t-shirt, which is why you bought it. This is what happens in the real world. Again, you're not entitled to anybody else's labour. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then make sure to hit the like, comment with your thoughts and suggestions for future videos, and most importantly, subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.